That's true. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It's Taco Tuesday, the 25th of November, 2025, and as always, holding the legacy media's feet to the fire because they propagandize, they gaslight, they lie. And guess what? You won't be trusted anymore. All right, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the WTF Reports. That's right, I'm Dave vonKleist. I'm here, WTF, with the facts. And if those facts make you exclaim, WTF, well then so be it. Oh, man, what an amazing time to be alive. I know there's a lot of folks out there that are really upset and they're scared and they're freaked out and they're frustrated and they're angry and all that. Well, we have a lot of reasons to be all of the above. But nonetheless, I think that we're living at a time in history that is unprecedented. I think we're going to see so much coming forward in the next coming months or even weeks. Things are getting really, really nuts. And I think a lot of different issues are going to come to a head real soon. And I think people better be prepared because the earth is going to be shaking beneath your feet, right down to the very foundations of our belief systems. We're going to see so much coming out that the overwhelming majority, not just of Americans, but of the entire world, is going to be gobsmacked. They're going to be just jaw-dropping stuff is going to be exposed. And I got several different issues that I want to get to today. And I realize that, I may be somewhat or seem somewhat schizophrenic in my presentation because I'm all over the map, but there's just so much to look at and so much to think about. So anyway, right off the bat, I do want to mention that this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Wave Watch. And hey, folks, perk up your ears, listen up. There is a Black Friday sale that's going on right now with the Wave Watch. And originally, the Wave Watch, the original Wave Watch that came out, they're basically selling the upgrade chip for that. Then came out the Wave Watch 2.0. And they're offering I believe it's a 25. Let me see if I can double check with this. Where is it? I had it here. Oh, yeah. Okay. You get 15% off of the Wave Watch if you pre-order the new one. It hasn't been released yet. It's the 2.2. You get 15% off of that. You get 25% off of the Wave Watch 2.0, which is available now. And you have to use the promo code REDPILL100. Okay, REDPILL100. So anyway, and if you decide that you want to get 3 of the Wave Watches, the 2.0s, you'll get 30% off of each one. So they're knocking a big percentage off of the Wave Watch so you can take advantage of this and benefit from the frequencies that are available through this Wave Watch. And again, this is based on Rife technology. It's a Rife machine you wear on your wrist. And if you haven't checked it out, you really should. We all know that the speed of sound is about 600, a little over 600 miles per hour. But the speed of sound through liquid is like 4.5 times faster. I mean, it goes really fast through the water. And it also goes a lot farther through the water. That's why whales can communicate over miles and miles and miles. Their clicks and their songs are heard, hundreds of miles away by other whales. Well, your body's 80% water. So when you're wearing the Wave Watch, you're not necessarily going to hear the frequencies, but the little speakers on the back of the Wave Watch put that sound into your body, which is 80% water, which means that sound, those frequencies are going throughout your entire body. That's what's so amazing about this Wave Watch. Anyway, if you haven't checked it out, really, you're missing out on a really incredible piece of technology. Visit our website, TheWTFReports.com, and the little pop-up window will take you right down to all kinds of information about the Wave Watch. And again, you will get 25% off of the Wave Watch 2.0 right now. And if you want to pre-order the 2.2, you're going to get 15% off. So anyway, visit the website and check out the Wave Watch. And then once you understand why it's so important, hopefully you'll decide to go ahead and purchase.
All right, that said, where do I even start today? There are several different issues that I want to start off with. Of course, the big news, of course, Candace Owens is all over the world. She is the number one podcast on the planet. And the powers that be just can't stand it because she is carrying the torch for Charlie Kirk. Now, Charlie, TPSA does not want to admit this. They're trying to bury or deep six all of what Charlie had been saying for the past several months before his assassination. Of course, he was turning on Israel. Yes, he was. He realized that there was a lot of shenanigans going on with the donors. He also realized that there was a lot of shenanigans going on with what Israel is doing over there in Gaza. He was questioning the October 7th attack. He was mentioning the Hannibal Directive. He was asking whether or not there was a stand-down order. And as a matter of fact, on this broadcast a couple of weeks ago, I had an audio of some of the IDF soldiers that were explaining that, yes, they did receive a stand-down order. They were told to abandon that section of the fence. Yes, so there are a lot of things coming out about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I'm standing with Candace on this one. I believe that she and Charlie had a very profound friendship and love for one another. Not a romantic love, a platonic love. They had a deep respect for one another. I believe that they were kindred spirits. And as a result, of course, I'll take some hits over that. That's okay. I don't care. My skin is a bit thicker than some of you realize. I already been through this crap 20 years ago. So, and I'm back out broadcasting reluctantly. I'm not here because I want the accolades or the praise or anything like that. It's just a matter of, when you become aware of a lie and you do nothing to expose the lie, you become part of the lie. And I will not let the lies stand. I'm not stupid, I'm not crazy, and I don't lie. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out there because there's so much that's coming out about Candace's, what am I trying to say? Her accusations. I don't know if they're really accusations or not, but anyway, here's a quick audio in regard to. Let me see. Oh, I got myself confused there. Okay, here it is. Here's Candace on the assassination. Oh, wait a minute! I forgot to plug that in. I knew there was something I'd forgotten. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to make a little buzz here. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Okay, here it is.
If what Candace Owens posted this morning is actually true, then we're not talking politics anymore. We're talking an international assassination plot involving France, Israel, and possibly the U.S. government. If what Candace Owens posted is even partially true, then this is the biggest political story of our lifetime. Candace says a high-ranking French government insider contacted her and told her that Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron approved and paid for her assassination. Not rumors, not speculation, a direct claim. She says France's elite counter-terror unit, the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, was greenlit to carry it out with one Israeli operative on the team. And listen, up until this point, if anything had happened to Candace, everyone would have assumed Israel was behind it. That was the entire narrative. But now she's saying the order came straight from France, and Israel was just a piece of the operation. And that flips everything upside down. She's also claiming Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Foreign Legion, which means this wasn't random. This was coordinated, multi-state, professional. And let's not forget about the planes. Don't forget about the planes. Mm-hmm. And Andrew Colvett, is this what you were warning her about? Because suddenly your credible threat comment feels a lot less random. But here's the part nobody should ignore. Candace says her source claims that the U.S. leaders already know about the threat, and they didn't warn her. If that's true, then this is no longer just a scandal. This is a national security crisis. This is where someone like Tulsi Gabbard needs to step in, someone who isn't controlled by either side, someone with military intelligence experience, someone who actually calls out corruption, foreign and domestic. Tulsi, please, we need you to demand answers. We need a real investigation, because if a foreign government ordered a political assassination on American soil of an American citizen and our own leaders stayed quiet, then that should terrify every single American. Let it all be revealed. If you believe this needs to be exposed, make sure to share this video now, push it everywhere before it gets buried, and make sure you're following. I'll keep you in the loop.
There we go. Okay, now that's not the only post in regard to this plot to assassinate Candace Owens. No. There's another post here. This was posted by Project Constitution. And I don't know. I've seen this guy. I can't remember what his name is, but he's been putting out some really good information. And here's what he had to say about the exact same issue.
2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, now keep in mind the French couple here, obviously the Macrons.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there because this guy is reading a text that was put out by Candace Owens. So he's reading the text. Here it is.
I've deemed the information they gave credible enough to share publicly in the event something happens. In short, this person claims the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, the green light was given to a small team in the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I hope I pronounced that correctly. No offense to my Frenchy friends. I'm told there is one Israeli that is on this assassination squad, and plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that the Charlie Kirk assassin trained with the French Legion 13 Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of the state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. Now, by dropping the Xavier Poussard name, you obviously now can trace this back to the Becoming Brigitte series. I ask that everyone please retweet this and share this. You'll see I dutifully did that along with 91,000 plus other people. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted. This is probably the biggest point at the back half of this. Since this source claims our leaders are aware. So she can't trust anyone in the American government because this source claims the leaders are aware. Let's examine the extent of that. It reads as if our American leaders have given foreign governments a permission slip to run loose in the United States and assassinate American citizens. But I have more specific information, which is definitely verifiable, should they care to reach out to me. In other words, I am holding back a little bit, Mr. Trump. You're welcome to ask me about it. I'll be happy to share it with you. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you. Truly, let all be revealed. Now, could that person be lying? Sure. Can Candace Owens take that risk and be quiet? No, absolutely not under any circumstance. You have to hide in the open. You saw what happened to Charlie Kirk when he tried to hide in the dark. For the sake of his donors, for the sake of his organization. If I believe that somebody contacted her representing themselves as a high-ranking French official and they shared this shocking information with Candace, the very next question is not, do I believe the source? That's irrelevant. The next question is the United States government investigating it? Why is that the next question? Because we can't vet the source unless the source comes forward with more information. An email, a text message, an audio recording, a video recording. Even then, in the era of AI, I think it's beyond the ability of you and me on YouTube or X to track down. But the federal government should be able to. The United States government should be able to. And if the United States government is investigating a tip like this, do you think France could exist if the United States government didn't allow them to? We've bailed them out twice in the last 106 years. Why isn't the government investigating it? Or is the government investigating it? I don't think it would take much more than a phone call from the President of the United States to knock this off. So the question becomes, has he made the phone call? If not, why not? If so, did they knock it off? And is there an element of the Trump administration that's okay with this? 2 days ago, I was
Okay. Well, yeah, I think it's safe to assume at this point that if Trump hasn't gotten involved, maybe he's been told not to. I mean, there are a lot of people are starting to realize that this government And indeed, most of the Western world has been, shall we say, commandeered, hijacked, taken over by an external force. And who could that external force be? Well, I think more and more people are starting to really see what's going on. I have to tell you, I peruse through social media. I don't spend a whole lot of time on Instagram or TikTok. I've been getting a lot of my stuff from X. However, in the past month, I have noticed an absolute deluge of pro-Israel, anti-American posts. And I can't help but think that, you remember about a month ago that Bibi Netanyahu was basically saying we have to go ahead and we have to maybe purchase X from Elon Musk. We have to funnel millions and millions of dollars towards the influencers. And, of course, there was one a talk about $7,000 per post for pro-Israel posts. I mean, there is an information war going on right now. And anyway, so last night, I don't go to Facebook that often anymore. I sort of have kind of abandoned Facebook. But I went, just for yucks and giggles, I went there and I started going through some of the posts. My goodness, people are indeed figuring the stuff out. As a matter of fact, there was a young woman who made the following post. Listen to this one.
I got a question for anybody who watches my page outside of the United States of America. How long has the whole world known that America was ran by racist, greedy pedophiles owned by evil Israeli Jews?
Ooh.
Like, is this a new development to you guys, or were you just like, Americans are just finding out? Like, how deeply propagated was I? Because I'm 40, right? And I'm just figuring this shit out within, like, the last couple years. I always knew America was ran by greedy racists. I didn't know that they were pedophiles owned by evil Israeli Jews. So, like, how much did you guys know and for how long? Just wondering.
Yeah. Okay, now, she said greedy pedophile Jews. Now, and a lot of people out there that are Jewish are going to be, really upset about that. And I understand why. However, the Talmud has been touted now as the book of the Jews. Now, I don't go along with that. The Old Testament Jews, the original Jews, the Jews that hold the same beliefs, the same Old Testament, the same 10 Commandments, the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same Old Testament Jews, if they kept their covenant with God, then they're honest to God Jews. But there's a whole nother set of quote unquote, and I'm using that quote unquote specifically, of Jews, but they are not the real Jews. They are the Talmudic Jews. Now, the Talmud didn't come around until like half a millennia after the death of Jesus Christ. So the Talmud couldn't possibly be associated with the Old Testament. But there are some quotes from the Talmud that are raising serious questions here. And here's someone who basically shared some of the quotes from the Talmud. Now, you tell me if these things are actually biblical. And for those of you who are not Jews, you have to understand that you are goy. Do you understand what goy is? Goyim. You are subhuman in the eyes of the believers of the Talmud. Here are a few quotes from the Talmud.
The book of Talmud is, after the Hebrew Bible, the central text of rabbinic Judaism and the primary source of Jewish religious law and Jewish theology. We have gathered a few rules from the book that Jews are taught to follow.
Listen to this.
Keep in mind, the word goyim in Hebrew means a non-Jew in English. Sophorim 15. Even the best of goyim should all be killed.
Ooh.
Yebamoth 98a. All children of goyim are animals. Baba Mezia 114b. Gentiles goys are not humans. They are beasts. Gatshaz 2. A Jew may violate but not marry a non-Jew girl. Sander in 54b. A Jew may have sex with a child as long as the child is less than 9 years old.
Oh my God.
Tospot Jebamoth 84b. If you eat with a goy is the same as eating with a dog. Baba Mezia 24a. If a Jew finds an object lost by a goy, it does not have to be returned.
Okay, that's just a few of the quotes from the Talmud. Now, these are the people who basically, like I said, they call themselves Jews, but they are not. They're descendants of the Canaanites, the pre-Old Testament cults that believed in Baal worship, Moloch, child sacrifice, drinking the blood. These people are the ones who basically they're the ones who put together the Talmud. All right, now I'm oversimplifying. I may not be 100% right in the way I'm putting this, but I mean, this is not hard to put together. As a matter of fact, there was a rabbi who said the quiet part out loud. He was explaining about the philosophy of Zionism, of the Zionists. And of course, they're the ones who are promoting the Talmudic beliefs. Here is this rabbi explaining in his own words of what Zionists are and what Zionists do. Here it is.
The Zionists, unfortunately, are quite clever. They are very bad, and they use the cleverness how to kill people, how to occupy other people, how to enslave other people. But unfortunately, they are clever.
They're clever.
How they have so much influence in the United States. Yes, you can see every small politician, United States, the day he started going up, the Zionists attached to him a personal friend.
AIPAC.
Yes, just nothing, just give him presents, a personal friend, take him over, he pay for his holidays, he take him for a trip to Israel for free, give him just nothing, they didn't ask from him, nothing. Every single small politician, every single one, and they do it with thousands, maybe tens of thousands. And all the money what they get from the United States, they invest back into that.
Mm-hmm. So they are sly. They are very clever. They're very intelligent. And they know humanity's weaknesses. And that's why they utilize those three tools:
bribery, coercion, blackmail.
That's what they do, folks. That's exactly what they do. And like I said, there are people all over the country, indeed all over the world, who are noticing. They are starting to really pay attention to all of this stuff. And remember, Ursula von der Leyen was addressing the European Union, and she said, and I could pull it up here, she says, Europe has the values of the Talmud. Wait a second. That is a lie. As far as I know, most of Europe were Christians. I mean, they had cathedrals all over the place. They certainly weren't worshiping Baal. They weren't, reading from the Talmud. They were reading from the Holy Bible. So the bottom line here is that the world is being conditioned to accept Talmudic values and Zionism. And Zionism is not Judaism. And again, the social media is just flooded right now with posts that are equating Zionism and Judaism together. So if you criticize Zionism, they call you an anti-Semite. And this is how they work it. They're not the same. Judaism and Zionism, it's not even apples and oranges. It's apples and power tools. They're two totally different things. One is a religion, the other is political dogma. And anyone who tries to equate and unite the two is doing so because they have an agenda. And again, people are starting to realize over and over again how screwed up this is. Now, I played a clip just a couple of minutes ago about a young woman. She said she was 40 years old and she's just figuring this stuff out. Well, she put out another post and it was even more, shall we say, potent than the last one. Here it is.
Question for my Christian nationalists that voted for Trump, right? Okay. You love Jesus, you love Christianity, you love country. I get all that, right? But you do understand that right now, evil Israeli Jews, not Jews, right? Judaism is a religion. Evil Israeli Zionists are currently a government trying to take over the world and using American tax dollars to do so. But you do understand that they own the president, okay? Our president is on a global live feed stating that he has participated in war crimes with Netanyahu, okay? Netanyahu is deemed a war criminal by the United Nations. He is actively committing a genocide. That's number one. So our president is in the pocket of an evil Israeli Jewish Zionist on a quest for world domination, currently committing a genocide. Okay? Peter Thiel, who owns Palantir and Oracle, and also who owns J.D. Vance in way of campaign contributions. He's an outward Israeli Zionist as well, a very open Zionist, okay? The Heritage Foundation is funded by AIPAC and Zionists, and they're currently developing a curriculum to take the place of civics and social studies, which is U.S. history and studying the Constitution in school, and they're replacing it with the Patriot curriculum, which promotes a Zionist agenda and an Israeli flag. That's going into your kids' school. They have admitted that they are going to use social media as a weapon against the American people in psychological warfare, investing billions of dollars into TikTok, YouTube, and Google, which are the primary apps that children interact on. Okay? And the American military is now being privatized by a Zionist called Fenberg. He is buying the American military, and they own 98% of all people in Congress, Democrat and Republican. Okay? So they own Congress, they own the president, they own the vice president, they own the Heritage Foundation, they own the U.S. Department of Education, they own social media, and now they own the American military.
And they own TPUSA.
And this is my question for the Christian nationalists that voted for Trump. What do you think evil Israeli Jews, who are currently committing a genocide against Muslims, that outwardly hate Christians and Jesus, are going to do when they finally come to America? What do you think their plan for Christianity in the United States is?
And now she just stares into the camera. She's just staring. What do you think?
You've already let your president take away the constitutional freedom of speech, freedom of press, peaceful assembly, and they're coming for the constitutional right to bear arms. You don't think that they'll take away freedom of religion in their new Zionist American state?
Mm-hmm. And that's not the only thing that they'll take away your ability to defend yourself. This is why you're seeing a new push now for a ban on quote-unquote assault weapons. And again, they use that term assault weapon, and that's supposed to mean, in their eyes, semi-automatic, automatic, anything that you can use to shoot people. But by definition, those are two words, assault and weapon, okay? You can assault somebody with a hammer, and that makes the hammer a weapon, an assault weapon. Same thing with a baseball bat. If you hit somebody with a baseball bat, you have assaulted them with a bat, and you use the bat as a weapon. So this whole term about assault weapons, it's horse hockey. It's bull crap. Anyway, let me see. Shall I move on to Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in a minute here.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get more tank by visiting our website, TheWTFReports.com. TheWTFReports, that's plural.com. Once you go there, you click on the sponsors page. It'll take you down to an area where you can click on the window that says Get More Tank. All the details and specifications are right there. It's not going to hurt your vehicle. Nope, ain't going to happen. And it's not a fuel additive. It's a fuel catalyst. Big difference. It makes your fuel burn more efficiently, cleans the engine out, gives you more power, and after your engine has become accustomed to this new, juicy, powerful fuel, you'll start to see better mileage, anywhere between 15 and 20%, depending upon your make, model, year of vehicle, and your driving habits. So if you're getting 20% better mileage, that means in one purchase of Get More Tank, you get 5 tablets. If you're getting 20% better mileage, that means your 5th tank is free. Do the math. $20 will get you a package of Get More Tank, and if you use the promo code REDPILL101. And like I said, do the math. 5 tanks of gas and the 5th tank is free. How much is a tank of gas? This is a no-brainer, folks. Your vehicle will run much, much, much better if you use Get More Tank. So, hey, help us keep the lights on here and do business with our sponsors. Visit our website, TheWTFReports.com, and Get More Tank. All right, that said, all right, we were talking a little bit ago, earlier in this broadcast, about all the threats that are going against Candace Owens and anybody else who dares to question the official narrative about who killed Charlie Kirk. Of course, TPUSA is goose-stepping along with the FBI and all the other wonks, or wankers, I should say, that are saying, hey, Tyler Robinson did it, nothing else to see here, move on, don't believe your lying eyes. That's what TPUSA, and now TPUSA has become, oh my gosh, they are so groveling over Israel. I mean, and this is one of the reasons why I believe that Charlie Kirk was basically offed. Because like I said earlier, Charlie's not stupid, or he wasn't stupid. He knew what the Bible said. He knew what Revelation 2:9 said. He knew what Revelation 3:9 said. He knew what John 8:44 said. He knew who Moloch was. He knew who Baal was. He knew about the Star of Remphan, and that's been hijacked and now called the Star of David. He figured all this stuff out. He figured out the October 7th attack had some very serious questions about it. Yeah, he checked out history. He knew why JFK was saying, hey, Israel needs to register as a foreign agent. He knew all this stuff. He put the puzzle pieces together, and that's why he was taking a major step back with his support for Israel. That's why he refused to go to Israel and visit with Bibi Netanyahu. That's why he turned down the $150 million offer that Netanyahu had made. He knew that there was some really shady undertakings going on with the finances of TPUSA. He figured all that stuff out. And that's one of the reasons why I think that he got taken out of circulation. But you know what? Most people are not as dumb as the powers that be want you to think. As a matter of fact, there's a stand-up comedian. His name is Sammy Obied, and he's been going around the country, and he's talking about this stuff. I mean, he was pretty funny too, but you got to listen to the crowd's reaction to some of the things that he was saying. Check him out.
Well, it's my first outdoor show since Charlie Kirk. I'm trying to figure it out. I haven't been outdoors since. And don't worry, we checked all the roofs for furries. There's no furries. There's just like one white kid with his grandpa's rifle. But I just want to kind of get where the public's temperature is at. Who here believes that it was Tyler? Okay, all right, well.
Not one hand went up. Not one.
Government, you hear that? Not even one person raised their hand. Everybody was like, nah. Bro, you know we're in danger when everybody in America is Alex Jones. Like, it's pretty... Oh, I smell weed. Nice time. Yeah, crack open the conspiracies, huh? Hope it's a sativa, because I need you to focus. I've actually seen something even more convincing. Somebody did a slow-mo where they show he's wearing a lapel mic. You see it go like that, and then you see something come out of his neck. It almost looks like the lapel mic either exploded or literally fired a bullet. I mean, that's kind of far-fetched, because I don't think any place in the world has the technology to make a little small piece of technology explode like that. And find a tricky way to give it to somebody. Trevor, where did we get this lapel mic from? Was it Tel Aviv Tech?
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, yeah, be careful who mics you up.
Yeah, be careful who mics you up.
Tyler shoots Charlie Kirk. He runs across the roof. His shadow disappears for some reason. He's like running and he has a shadow, then boom, no shadow as he crosses the rest of the roof. It's like the CGI guy quit halfway through. He's like, ethically, I cannot complete this job. Allegedly, Tyler uses his great-grandfather's rifle. The story is that his great-grandfather used his rifle in World War I. His grandfather used it in World War II, and then Tyler used it to start World War III. Apparently, I think that was, you see him running and then jumping off, just like where did the rifle go? Did it bend with his leg? Something was like, actually, he didn't have it in his pants at that point. He has it under a piece of cloth. He disassembled it. Right after he shoots Charlie Kirk, allegedly, he disassembles the rifle for everybody's first move. And actually, there's a screwdriver left on the roof, right at the scene of the crime. And guess what? The screwdriver has his DNA on it. How perfect is that? Tyler, 4.0 student, planned this shooting for like 6 months, interned for the CIA for a little while, and then accidentally leaves his DNA-ridden screwdriver at the scene while he's wearing gloves. How did he get the... Was he just like... A few minutes later, he drops the rifle in a wooded area, fully reassembled. Oh, yeah, with one screwdriver. Did this kid have 2 screwdrivers? This is my DNA one, this is my non-DNA one. He really tried to trick us, didn't he? Does Tyler like puzzles? Maybe his mom was taking Tyler off.
Ooh, Tyler, no. Interesting. Yeah, and the funny thing is that the entire audience is totally on board. Nobody is buying the official narrative that Tyler Robinson was the lone shooter. Nobody's buying it. And yet TPUSA is condemning, ridiculing, and basically calling out anybody who dares to challenge the official narrative. Don't tell me that TPUSA hasn't been hijacked. Don't tell me that they haven't been commandeered and taken over. No. I think that it's quite obvious what's going on. And all of the people associated with TPUSA are relentlessly attacking anybody who challenges the official narrative, especially Candace Owens. But you know what? They have a long road to hoe because it's not just Candace Owens. It's not just Tucker Carlson. It's not Ryan Mata or Eric Warsaw or Ian Carroll or Jimmy Dore or a whole load, or this guy, this Sammy Obiad. What, are you going to take everybody out? Is that what the plan is? Anybody who challenges the official story has to be demonized, ridiculed, and assassinated. Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? Another little piece, a little tidbit of information came out. Kim Iverson brought this out, and here's what she had to say about the Department of Homeland Security. Listen to this.
All right, so this is really bizarre. Over the weekend, X rolled out a new feature where you can click on an account and discover a little bit more information about them. The key critical piece of information is where the account is located. And so they roll out this new feature. But one thing people are quick to figure out is that the Department of Homeland Security, it turned out it was based in Israel. People were quick to screen record this and take screenshots of this. Some of those screen records and some of the screenshots have been proven to be fake. They were modified, they were doctored. However, X and Grok confirmed that, yes, there are some real screenshots and videos showing that Department of Homeland Security had at one point shown that it was an account based in Israel. But They're saying it was a glitch. Oh, a glitch that just so happened to show Israel as the country out of all of the countries in the world. Not Madagascar, not Brazil, not Thailand. No, Israel. It showed Israel, the country that actually is, most of us can see, running our foreign policy and much of our government. Homeland Security denied this and said, I can't believe we have to say this, but this account has only ever been run and operated from the United States. Screenshots are easy to forge. Videos are easy to manipulate. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It started going viral. Millions of people saw this. And then suddenly what X did was they disabled the feature entirely. And they didn't say why. I wonder why. Just to corroborate this, we went to the Facebook account of the Department of Homeland Security. This is the page transparency for the Department of Homeland Security Facebook account, not X. And if you go down to the bottom where it says the location, it says United States, India, and Malaysia. It's showing right there. The Facebook page is run out of different countries. Clearly the U.S., the America First administration, has outsourced its social media to India and Malaysia for its Facebook account. So what makes us believe you didn't outsource your Twitter account to Israel, the country that you're protecting at all costs the country that you're aiding and abetting in a genocide. And now you're all telling us that we're all a bunch of gullible idiots online. Oh, it was a glitch. You know what? It's actually kind of believable that you've allowed them to run our Department of Homeland Security social media account and probably actually the Department of Homeland Security itself. Not a far stretch, considering everything that we've seen.
Interesting. And you know what? The DHS was registered, that website was registered in 2019. Okay, 2019. Now, who was the head of the Department of Homeland Security at that time? Well, that was Alejandro Mayorkas. Yeah. Now, what was Alejandro Mayorkas' background? Well, you can do a little search on this. Before he became Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, he was a board member of the HIAS, okay, the Jewish American nonprofit organization. It's called the HAIS, which is the Hebrew, let me see, where is it? The Hebrew, where is it? I just saw here. Oh, the Hebrew Immigration Aid Society. Hebrew Immigration Aid Society, the HIAS. Now, what were they doing during that particular time? Now, remember, Biden took the office. Alejandro Mayorkas became the director of Homeland Security, and the border got opened up. Yeah, Kamala Harris was the quote-unquote border czar. And, of course, they were all saying, oh, the border's secure. We've closed the border. It's absolutely secure. Meanwhile, millions of people are flooding across the border, and they were lying through their teeth. So Alejandro Mayorkas sat on the board of the HIAS before he became Secretary of Homeland Security. And what was the HIAS doing? Well, they were aiding all of these immigrants all through Central America. They had stopping points and supply chains for all these people to come up through Central America. They were giving them food. They were giving them all kinds of help. They were giving them maps. They were giving them directions. They were giving them addresses to get to once they crossed the border. They were being told where the easiest part of the border is to cross. The HIAS was enabling, promoting the immigration that was coming across during the Biden administration. Now, isn't that interesting? Now, wouldn't you call that treason? And why is nobody being arrested? Why is nobody being held to account? Well, maybe it's because our country's been taken over. Maybe, just maybe, but don't pay attention to me. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Now, I got to remind you, yesterday I was talking about how we have people in powerful positions who are misquoting the Bible to basically serve their own ends. Okay, Mike Huckabee now is really being called to the carpet right now for meeting with a former spy for Israel. But in the meantime, he's been quoting the Bible. Here's what he said.
Genesis 12, those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Yeah, that's wrong. It's those, God said, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. He was talking to Abraham. Okay, now he's not the only one who misquoted the Bible. Ted Cruz did the same thing. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here it is.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
That's a lie. And if you change God's words, I'm sorry, but that's a big sin. There was another thing that Cruz said that is somewhat unrelated, but I find it rather revealing.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
So what do you do with them? You send them to Israel because they are welcomed with open arms to Israel. Well, you know what, Ted, I'm sorry, but you're not getting over anymore. Over the weekend, he went to address a particular crowd, and the sound quality here is pretty bad, but you'll get the general idea. But he was just being introduced and brought to the stage, and here's what happened.
Respect for dialogue. I will say this, I am saddened to see that some here, not everyone, but some here, are so consumed with hate that you cannot address your brother. I will say this.
You speak for yourself.
If you will not stand with Israel and the Jews,
no,
then I will not stand with you. Thank you, and God bless you.
He just got up. If you don't stand with Israel, then I will not stand with you. That should tell you exactly where his priorities are. And people saw it. He couldn't even get up there and give his speech. They booed him off the stage. So, yeah, people are figuring it out. People are noticing. And all of these social media posts that are pro-Israel and condemning anybody who is attacking Zionism, they're all, we see you, meaner, neener, neener, we see you, we see what you're doing, you're not getting over. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. It gave me a little reason to smile because, like I said on the outset of this broadcast, a lot of people are very upset. They're sad. They're angry. They're afraid. They're frustrated. We have every reason to be all of the above. And we are living in probably the most interesting times in humanity. Major shifts are coming, folks. Major shifts. As a matter of fact, let's turn the clock back. Remember, it was about a year ago. It was during the holidays. Remember, we were hearing about all these orbs and all these drones, all the sightings that were going on in New Jersey and New York and Long Island and Connecticut. People were saying, what the heck are these things flying all over the place? And of course, the narrative is that, oh yeah, well, they were scanning and looking for, illegal weapons and illegal aliens and stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, that was just about a year ago. That was right around, the holiday season last year. Well, remember what happened during the holiday season 2 years ago? The Miami Mall, what was it, the Marketplace? They said that there were some kids that were brawling. The kids were fighting. And so what did they do? They brought in hundreds and hundreds of squad cars, first responders, helicopters flying overhead, and they shut down the airspace over Miami. All because of some kids having a fight? Wait a minute. There's something much, much bigger behind that. And there was a congressional testimony that may shed a little bit of light, only a little bit. But something big is going on. Listen to this.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Do you guys remember the Bayside Mall incident from 2 years ago? Yeah? Remember what they said, too. I want to make this clear. Authorities told us that it was their response to a bunch of high school kids fighting. That's what they said. Remember that. So, then you had multiple witnesses coming out saying that there was some pretty weird stuff going on in the mall.
Okay, they said there was kids fighting, and that sort of is why they brought in hundreds of squad cars.
Shadow creatures with teleportation abilities and whatnot. And then you have Fitz. Now, Fitz, I had never heard of this guy somehow, but he's popping up now because of this congressional hearing clip, which I'm about to show you. Fitz is apparently an enemy of the state. He's a New York resident. And apparently Fitz has some pretty interesting video. Let's take a listen.
Matter, and I've been asked to approach with extreme caution. The incident at the Bayside Marketplace in Miami on January 1st is currently classified, and I've been instructed to refrain from divulging certain details due to the ongoing nature of the investigation.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. Did you hear what he said? He said the whole thing is classified. Yeah, kids having a brawl or a fight, and yet this whole thing is classified. Yeah.
However, in the interest of transparency, I will provide what little information I am authorized to share. A New York resident we will be referring to as Fitz was indeed present at the Bayside Marketplace on the night of the incident. The DOD has confirmed that Fitz may have witnessed something classified. Reports indicate that this individual captured footage of the event in question, footage that, as of now, remains classified and has not been retrieved by the federal government. This footage, if revealed, could have profound implications not for how we understand these events. The American people are not aware, but due to government protocols, we have never had a situation where a civilian has had footage of this kind in their possession and has not been retrieved by the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, they haven't retrieved it. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. So who is this guy, Fitz? Obviously, it's an assumed name or a fake name. So who is this guy from New York that has this footage that they say is a threat to national security, and they have not retrieved the footage yet? Where is this guy, Fitz? Hey, Fitz, post it. Put it out there.
In past incidents, our procedures would normally resolve situations like this in a rapid time frame. There is a first time for everything. Now, as I'm sure you understand, I must emphasize that Fitz has been deemed an enemy of the state.
An enemy of the state because he has footage of whatever it was at the Miami Mall? Wow.
This designation stems not from any malicious action on his part, but due to the sensitive nature of what he witnessed and the material he is believed to possess. Let me be clear. Fitz is not the only person of interest in this matter, but his involvement has made him a focus of ongoing federal operations.
Okay, so out the gate, I'll just say it again. I told you they were lying about the kids fighting. It's so obvious when they lie to us. We need to start, recognizing that together as a whole right away. Oh, wow, the biggest police response I've ever seen in my life, definitely not kids fighting. These are simple things. It's like the magic bullet, Tower 7, Charlie Kirk. These things are all very obvious, okay? Some creature was walking around that mall, whether it was a government weapon, some sort of alien, or Project Bluebeam. I mean, we need Fitz's video. I mean, we've got some of the Epstein files, enough Epstein files to get an idea that, hey, everyone, they're all involved and they're all guilty. Now I want to see the Fitz video. That's what I want to see.
That's what we all want to see. And I do remind you, folks, I mean, all these are like little tidbits, little crumbs for us all to follow. Now, are they being planted, or are they being released, or are they just, showing up? I don't know, but I can't help but think of what Ronald Reagan said back in 1989.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Yeah, and I can't help but think of what's going on with this 3-Eye Atlas. It's if they were ever going to be setting up Operation Bluebeam, I have to ask, how would they do it? How would they set the table? How would they prepare the world population for the concept of an alien invasion? How would they set the table for that if they wanted to fake it? Well, I can't help but think that, this 3-Eye Atlas just seems to be very convenient, and it's also rather coincidental. As I mentioned, it was only a year ago during the holiday season that we had the reports of all these orbs and all these drones over the Northeast. And a year previous to that, during the holiday season, we had this Bayside marketplace issue. And so now we're entering the holiday season again. And isn't it coincidental that this 3-Eye Atlas is going to make it's going to be closest to Earth somewhere around December's, I think they said 16th or 17th, somewhere around in there. But that was the original prediction. Since that time, 3-Eye Atlas has changed its trajectory, its course. It's also changed its velocity. So this thing is actually changing directions. Now, we can only go with what they're telling us. Now, is this all true? I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, folks, I hope I'm keeping it interesting for you. If you're enjoying this broadcast, these WTF reports, I ask that if you're listening on Rumble or BitChute or Facebook or YouTube, please click like, share, subscribe, and above all else, spread the word. Word of mouth is the best advertising. Trying to get folks to think outside of the cage. And as they say, no good deeds go unpunished. Anyway, so folks, if you're enjoying it, please do business with our advertisers. Pick up some merch, visit the website, and help us out a little bit. That said, it's going to wrap it up for today's installment of the WTF Reports. I'm Dave vonKleist. I thank you for your listenership, and I have to say, take care. Have a good day. Be safe. Be free. And I'll see you tomorrow.